live in 2 minutes. Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Why, hello there. We're all going to talk in a
breathy fashion. Is that what that was?
Breathy, I believe, would be the proper
okay.
pronunciation.
No, whatever.
But Potter came in, drama queen that he is, and said, I have a headache. And
right.
So we're just trying to tone it down.
In the same mode, when I brought in these M&Ms, I insisted that Lynn take out all the green ones.
I don't know. Is chocolate is that good for a headache? Because it does. Is chocolate I think.
I feel a certain need for blood sugar, I think is what it comes down to.
All right,
so,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Potter
Good
here
morning.
is suffering from being a parent of a toddler.
Everyone in my house is suffering from that affliction, actually. It's pretty rocky this morning, rocky.
It's amazing when you let one of those little rugrats into your life what happens, isn't it? It's like a little teeny microscopic germ can kill you.
Yes.
And little things. It's the little things. It's not the big things.
That actually would have been the easy way out.
That's
I think for a microscopic germ to kill me would have been relatively quick. Wouldn't have taken any 2 years, I can tell you that.
Hang in there. It only gets worse.
Great. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pittsburgh.
We're all in a wonderful mood. It's May Day.
It is. Solidarity, brothers.
How'd it ever come from a holiday where, virgins went traipsing around a phallic symbol with flowers in their hair and...
Yeah.
Well,
that's right.
Yeah,
no, it's
to Moscow, where it's there was. I always got scared because on the news during the 50s, and they would show the parade, the May Day parade, and all those scary guys standing there on the Politburo and stuff.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah,
so May Day, it has many different connotations.
Yeah. Obviously, those parades did their job, though. They were supposed to scare.
Yeah, they intimidated Americans.
Yes, you capitalist swine. So good.
Well, why don't I feel that way about the North Korean parades? Because they do them too.
Yeah. I think North Korea just has... There's just a level of weirdness with that whole country. Like, everything about it is just so completely... Like, their rhetoric is just...
It's so bizarre.
Everything they do is, But actually, I worry about those guys a little bit.
You do?
A little bit.
No, I think essentially they're global entertainment.
Yeah.
With little
nuclear
over the edge.
with nuclear devices.
Yeah.
They're like the Ringling Brothers Circus with its own submarine fleet or something like that.
Speaking of the circus, did you see Tupelo? What do you think of when you think of Tupelo, Mississippi?
We talked about this last week. This is the somebody drive by. Did the drive by?
That was where there was a drive-by elephant shooting.
Yeah.
When the circus was in town.
Right.
But Tupelo is also the hometown of the Elvis impersonator and now karate Ryson
that's
guy.
Right. Yes.
And I've been reading articles about Tupelo, and people say it is a very odd town.
I guess it must
and
be.
that there's a lot of very strange people in it. And that's where Elvis is from.
Yeah. Well, how strange was I guess the...
No, the two of them,
Elvis
they're both weird.
Yeah.
But so is the other guy.
Yeah.
Who obviously is the perp.
Right.
Who tried to set up the Elvis impersonate by saying, unbelievable, just really bizarro.
Yeah, that's got Coen Brothers movie treatment.
Oh, man, exactly. Exactly. It's like, Raising Arizona-esque, right? Right?
That's, still their best, in my opinion.
Do you think?
Yeah.
There's a guy in that movie that my sister dated for a long time, and I cannot believe I'm blanking on his name. Oh, God, that's so frightening.
Yeah, but it wasn't somebody you dated. It was somebody your sister dated, right? I mean...
Right, but I knew the kid. He was a great guy.
Yeah, but still.
McMurray. His name is McMurray, but why can't I think of his first name? Anyway, he was... he had a good role in that.
Really?
Played the husband of... He was funny in it. I can't remember the movie well enough to give you the... Sam McMurray.
Wow. Wow.
So once
there you go. Still got it.
So once I was talking about Sam McMurray, there's that WTAE radio, I think, a million years ago. And I was mentioning, this funny story about Sam McMurray dating my sister and how they're beset by, rabid dogs in a field in Illinois. Don't ask. And Murray is screaming, "Assume the submissive, assume the submissive," which is correct.
Right.
Yeah, right, correct. I might have the story all wrong.
Submissive.
Story wrong. And then how later when I went off to New York City to become an actress, and I literally was dropped off by my brother with one suitcase and nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had been given Sam McMurray's mother's...
You're gonna make it on your own.
I went to a payphone to call the number of Sam McMurray's mother.
Right.
And I lost my wallet in the... I lost my wallet. I was in New York City for 2 seconds.
That's great.
And my wallet's gone. And I managed to call her, and she said, "Come right over. I've got a room for you." It was occupied until just this morning, but she left. And the person who had occupied this bed was... Did you ever see Gypsy?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
You know about Gypsy Rose Lee?
Yeah, sure.
The stripper?
Yes.
Her sister was named June. And in Gypsy, she's Baby June.
Okay.
And Baby June was the star.
And you were
June
in Baby
became
June's...
June. She was June Hauer, who was an actress. And June Hauer had been sleeping in the bed that I ended up in my first night.
Oh. So the way you start the story is June Hauer and I shared a bed once.
Yeah. And I thought, this is a good way to start being an actress, right? So anyway, so I'm telling you a story about Sam McMurray and my sister, and I get a phone call. And the person on the other end says, "Wait a minute. What do you mean your sister was dating Sam McMurray in 19... I was dating Sam McMurray." Oh, this was funny. And it was Chilly Billy Cardill's daughter, Lori.
Oh, man.
Who was an actress, too. She was a soap actress.
Right.
I mean, she's still essentially an actress, but she was
Oh,
working
dear.
for me.
So that's a really awkward moment.
No, but it turns out we did the math, and I think I don't think there was.
He wasn't two-timed.
No, I don't think he was overlap, or there was overlap. Anyway, I'm sorry. Where are we going?
I
What is
don't
this
know.
all about?
I don't know. I'm still stuck on the phrase "assume the submissive," which is
Well, no.
Feels like the next book by that 50 Shades of Grey person. Assume the submissive.
No, but that is true. I mean, if you're getting chased, just drop down.
Yeah.
You know.
Assume the submissive.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's what I did at home this morning, actually.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. It's really good advice on a lot of levels.
I was hoping you were going to bring this up. I see your
Well, of course.
clip.
I was waiting for you.
Yes.
We have to talk about our petulant mayor, Ravenstall, who's a real piece of work, I got to say. And his finagling in the current mayoral race to decide who will replace him. Let me just say this. Whoever replaces him, it will be a relief.
Yeah.
At least we'll have somebody in the office who's doing it, who's doing the job, and who doesn't consider it, I guess, aggressive for a reporter to ask him a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he bristles at nothing. Boy, what a thin-skinned, short-fused.
And for a minute, it seemed like he was easing up. He was relaxing once he decided he wasn't going to run for re-election.
No, but then all that ugliness got into him, and he thought, I'm going to get this peduto once and for all.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, there's a new ad out attacking Bill Peduto.
It is ugly.
And it's attacking Bill Peduto, and it's paid for by the Committee for a Better Pittsburgh, which again is one of those great sort of committee names.
Yeah.
I would like to do a plug here momentarily, which is your very own Pittsburgh City paper.
I know that.
First reported the existence of this group 2 years ago, or actually a year ago.
Right.
And it was a sort of mysterious group that got started in 2011 with a $20,000 loan from the Ravenstall campaign, but which nobody had heard from since. And the story we did on it last year was Ravenstall gave a lot of money to this group. It's not really clear why or what they're doing. They seem to have some GOP ties, but it's not really clear what's going on.
What do you think the original intent of that group was?
I don't know. It's still a mystery. You know, at any rate, we'll get into what the mayor has said about that group. At any rate, so on Sunday night, Bill Peduto sent out a blast email that said, we're about to be attacked by this group. And on Monday morning, we actually at the City Paper broke online that the treasurer of this group was tied to Ravenstall, also tied to Jim Furlow. He's the treasurer. He's been the treasurer of Jim Furlow's political campaign, and now works for the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, and so on and so forth. So we did that, but we couldn't necessarily prove, because you got to remember that there's not like there's real-time reporting of where the money's coming from. The last report we had of this group was at the end of 2012, and they had about $145 in their account, and they're doing tens of thousands of dollars worth of ad buys. So nobody is sure exactly where the money comes from. But Luke Ravenstall, when he dropped out, had about $1 million in his account. So there was good reason to think that a lot of that money was moving from the one place to the other.
Right.
So, everybody in town starts jumping on this story. Tim McNulty of the Post-Gazette picks up on this FCC report that TV stations have to file when they get a political ad.
I think KDKA is really the one who...
Yeah, I don't know who exactly.
Okay,
I saw... I mean,
agree.
obviously, KDKA was KDKA's report that got filed, so KDKA got to see it before anybody else. So sooner or later, the story was going to come out.
Okay.
And that report listed Luke Ravenstall as the chairman for this campaign, despite the fact that Ravenstall's campaign did not return my request for candidates on Monday morning. Other reporters had also contacted his campaign and the city office, got no response. Then this story gets posted online at the Post-Gazette, and the mayor posts this Facebook post, which is just, I mean, people should go and check it out. It's amazing. No, if he took it down, anybody who, if it's not there now, people can feel free to email me. I did a screen capture of it, as did a lot of other people. So
it is the most petulant piece of...
It's like, well, good work, Post-Gazette. What a great job. Congratulations from editor David Shrimman on down. It's really
so
remarkable.
High schoolish.
It's really remarkable.
So unbelievable. Childish. It is unbelievable. That's our mayor? I know he was the boy mayor, but I mean, now Rob Rogers' things with always showing him with a juice box. I mean, it's exactly... On the mark. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And the other thing about this is, this will not be the last ad. I don't think anybody would be surprised if there were a bunch more coming up.
They got more.
So,
and this is this has the look of one of those ads that literally makes you feel like you have to go take a bath. And what about they make Peduto in the ad sound like he is a racist, that he's never done anything for the African American. I mean,
yeah. The essential message of the ad is all Bill Peduto ever did is look out for his own little district of affluent East Enders, and he let everybody else who wasn't as well positioned.
That is so not true.
Go down the crapper. So, yeah, I mean. It's the kind of ad you would see and actually not even blink at if it were in the context of a presidential race or a Senate race.
It's got the stink of a national.
It has, and in fact, this is something else we broke on Monday. The ad agency that placed the ad, and it's not necessarily the same people who place the ad as who actually make the ad, but the agency who placed the ad is this firm down in Virginia that worked with the Swift Vote Veterans for Truth.
Which are a bunch of lying SOBs who helped take down Kerry's presidential campaign. But they announced themselves. The group then that Ravenstall's group turned to for help in placing their ads is a self-acknowledged Republican.
Yes, yeah. It's like right up on their website.
I gotta tell you, I have been saying since day one that, what passes for a Democrat in this town often is a Republican.
Yeah.
Ravenstall is one of them, and Jack Wagner is another, which is why there is this, So what does this do? The fact of the matter is Ravenstall now, in his attempt to help Wagner in this way, is this going to backfire? I mean, why would people want to elect the man who everybody who's behind Ravenstall has now moved over to? Why does that bespeak an opportunity for change? I don't think so.
Let me say this about that. I think what this Facebook post that the mayor posted shows you is that Mayor Luke Ravenstall is completely willing and able to lash out without really considering sort of long-term consequences. So I don't even know, did he do it to help Wagner, or did he just do it to get
out of his own petulance,
enemy? So and a lot of people are making this assumption that the Wagner campaign had something to do with this, and I just want to be clear about that. There's no evidence to suggest that Wagner had anything to do with this. I would say Wagner's team did not respond to this particularly well, in my opinion. What they should have done is just issued a really high-minded statement denouncing the ad. Instead, what they did is did a statement that was kind of like, well, this is just Bill Peduto's chickens coming home to roost, essentially.
Oh, so they
didn't. Yeah, I don't think they did a really great job of denouncing this ad or whatever. But I also don't know, and I've seen no evidence to suggest that that Wagner had anything to do with this. So but it is a remarkable turn of events. This election is just absolutely unprecedented. I have never seen a third-party ad placed in a mayoral campaign. Although we reported a month or two ago that this was a possibility, people have been talking about it as a possibility. To actually see it, it's something.
Okay, here somebody is texting. This is
here's the actual text. Yeah,
here's the actual text. I shall do an oral rendition of Mayor Ravenstall's petulant Facebook post.
Yeah, post.
Breaking news. One of America's self-proclaimed greatest newspapers actually takes the time to pull the records of an account that's been in existence for years. Congrats to Tim McNulty and the tremendous work of the entire team from David Shribman on down. You really blew the cover off this one. Yawn. ... Truth is, no one's hiding anything, nor has attempted to. I have personally been the chairman of this committee since its inception. In fact, its chairman, misspelled, and intentions are much more transparent than your rag of a newspaper. At least I'm honest and truthful about my support and don't attempt to hide behind a mantle of a newspaper. That's misspelled, too.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the misspelling in me. I can't help it. It's actually laughable to think that you print your newspaper every day with a straight face. It doesn't take much to see who the PG supports and doesn't support. Back to that in a minute. I was honored to receive tremendous financial support from hundreds of donors who believe in all of the wonderful things happening in our city. They and I want to see that continue. This effort is based on that, and that alone. It's 100% factual and begins to expose the real Bill Peduto. Future ads will do the same. Finally, I love how the haters love to preach about the law and following it. Except, of course, when it doesn't benefit them. The facts are not that this is legal in every sense.
The facts are that
this is legal in every sense of the law. What? And nothing more. And nothing more than a committee expressing its. He doesn't get its and its. He gets it exactly wrong.
In
every time.
fairness, lots of other people.
Well, it annoys me. Okay. Nothing more than a committee expressing its, misspelled, First Amendment rights. You 14th warders.
That's my favorite line.
I'm one of them. I live in the 14th ward.
That's my favorite line.
You 14th warders should love that, right? Anyway, back to the PG. He sounds like a mean girl from in high school, doesn't he? It's just unbelievable. Anyway, back to the PG bias. The only question that remains is whether the PG will endorse Peduto this Sunday or next. Curious about your thoughts. My guess is this Sunday. Gives their man 2 whole weeks to talk about it.
Yes.
This is our mayor.
Yeah.
And he puts this on his Facebook page.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, remember that this the mayor previously posted a Facebook post calling out the guy who runs the Pittsburgh Promise.
Oh, that's right.
So it's not entirely surprising for that reason. I would,
it's high school.
It's kind of funny that the Post-Gazette actually endorsed Ravenstall back in 2009, in the general election.
Jesus.
So
they also endorsed our current governor.
Yes.
The endorsement of the PG is suspect no matter where it lands.
I would say he's quite he is right. There's nothing illegal about what's happening here.
No.
And in fact, it has nothing to do with the city's campaign finance ordinance or anything like that. This has always been allowed under the law. So it's a remarkable it is still just a remarkable thing. And what's great is if you look, I don't know if people have read the other comments. There's a chunk of people who are like, yeah, you tell them, Mayor, which is just like, and it's a reminder. A couple months ago, this same guy was the odds-on favorite to be reelected as the mayor of Pittsburgh.
He was going to be mayor for life.
Yeah.
I thought until my dying day, Luke Ravenstall would be the mayor. Jeez.
It is something.
Okay, so the latest poll shows actually Peduto a teeny bit ahead, but statistical tie. What do you make of that?
I don't know. I have been from the outset with this firm. This is Keystone Analytics is the firm, and this is the first campaign they have ever done polling with. So I've always just been, and I don't have any reason to believe that they're not operating in goodwill and so on and so forth. They don't have a track record to judge yet. But yeah, I think clearly there was a time when it really looked like Jack Wagner really had the momentum and was in a position to run away with it. I had various politicos telling me that they thought that's what was going to happen, actually. And so this new result, basically, true. I think this new result, the most useful thing for Peduto is it suggests this thing is still very much up for grabs.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. We'll see how it plays out.
Wow. And we got how many weeks till the election?
No, it's May 21st is the primary day, so
we got 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
Oh, come on.
21. I got a big headache.
Even I can do that, man.
Oh, well, good for you.
All right, stop it. Jabroni. Do you know what that means?
I've heard the phrase. As in, what a jabroni. I think it sort of speaks for itself.
Yeah, it just sort of, you can tell right away. But when I hear it, it makes me think of the Wait, what's the
Zamboni?
Zamboni. Speaking of, I don't know why there'd be hockey on my mind today. Anyway, we got to take a break because
I forgot.
Headache,
I know. Thank
I know
you.
your headache. But Jess did
Just looking at you.
did a you know, it's
a
like
full head
it's
roll.
Like, you know,
Is that like
right?
Whoa.
And you know, I pick up on. I'm a very sensitive and observant person. I pick up on that.
Yes,
I am.
Yes.
Not to credit myself unnecessarily. I believe we'll take a very short break.
Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com or call Lynn at 412-316-3381. Lynn Cullen Live will return in a moment.
Pittsburgh City Paper is seeking 10 local artists to design their own street box for our second annual public art project to be featured throughout the city of Pittsburgh. Go to www.pghcitypaper.com and click on the Art Box link for more details. The Pittsburgh City Paper Art Box Project, brought to you by the Westmoreland and Hill House Association.
Give the gift of beauty and youth this Mother's Day. Join us Saturday, May 11th for a day of rejuvenation, skincare, and fun at the Sewickley Med Spa. Purchase one microdermabrasion and Mom gets a free microdermabrasion. Log on to SewickleyMedSpa.com or call 412-259-8628 for details. Sewickley Med Spa is conveniently located in downtown Sewickley at 435 Broad Street. Happy Mother's Day from the Sewickley Med Spa.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Okay, we are back. So, we done enough with that, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, I want to talk about another shadowy group. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
Was that loud? See, I don't even know when I'm loud anymore. A shadowy group. Was that loud?
No, it was okay. I guess it was a...
I am so, you jumped. When Sokolowski's here, he jumps. Other people, I have no, it's awful. Am I getting worse in my old age?
No,
Yeah, probably.
Like the mayor, you just don't have a filter. That's
Dang.
all right.
Fair
Another
Share
shadowy group.
Pittsburgh.
Ah, okay.
Do you know about them?
No.
Okay.
But I've got a supposition.
Well,
Go ahead.
I've been getting these things in my, once a day.
Yeah, very slick.
And they're slick, they're good. And they, okay, like this one says, the mayor knows there are a billion reasons UPMC needs to start paying taxes. Now, after trashing the mayor, we're going on to something he has done, which I am totally in favor of, and that is suing the pants off UPMC to get them to pay taxes. And there are all of these, pretty slick on cardboard coming one a day. They're all different.
Mm-hmm. From a North Side post office box.
Does a real charity watch its revenue soar to $10 billion while it gives less than 2% in charity care? And then you turn it over and there's all kinds of other stuff. Would a real charity close up close
the hospital in one of our
neediest communities,
and then
but invest in state-of-the-art facilities in Cyprus and Italy?
Dun, dun, dun.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. And the return address is a post office box, Fair Share, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Who is that? That's money. There's a lot of money there. Who is that?
My suspicion is that's
Highmark?
part of it. No, that it's part of a one, like kind of the Make It Our UPMC One Pittsburgh Union backed campaign. I don't know that for a fact, but my guess is that that's where.
What?
There's a whole little network, as it were, a coalition, to use the more preferred term, of a sort of labor-backed community activism that's been directed at UPMC. So my guess is, and I don't know this for a fact because I haven't seen these mailings, I haven't gotten them, but my guess is that that's where that's coming from.
Well, okay. I think it's very effective stuff.
Yeah.
What can it do, though? They're saying you have to, they want...
Yeah, what is it they're asking?
They're saying join the fight.
Yeah.
And they give you a web site, fairsharepittsburgh.com.
Right.
And I don't know what you're supposed to do. We need all our city... you're supposed to pressure people, I guess. You're supposed to... I don't know. Go on the website. You guys haven't done anything with any of this?
No.
Don't you think you
Maybe
should?
we're not. Yeah. Well, I'll take these away from you at the end of the show.
Oh, you don't get them because you don't live in the city.
Well, I think there's several of our staff do, and I don't think they've gotten them. So I'm not sure why you did.
You haven't gotten them? Well, why am I getting them?
I don't know. Maybe because you're one of those 14th warders.
Oh, yes. I guess those of us in the elite are, yes.
You 14th warders like getting mail, don't you?
Okay, here's
The whole
from
office
Dexter.
heard you
Lynn,
right.
I loaded up your show, but then hurried away for some matter here at work. I forgot to have the headphones plugged in. The whole office heard your rant at full volume. They loved it. Some are 14th warders, too. Hey, yeah. All right.
14th warder.
You know what? The 14th warders are, we're like, I've always said in presidential elections, I've said things to, like, my gay friends, well, how does it feel to be this election campaign's wedge issue?
Right.
And immigrants, how does it feel to be the wedge issue?
Right.
Hey, blacks, how does it feel?
Yeah.
14th warders.
Finally, it's your turn.
We're the wedge issue. We're the horrible people that everybody else is supposed to hate.
Yeah, that's
and
been
vote
true for
against.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, this has always been the thing is you East Endy people aren't like the real Pittsburgh. You get all these pointy head reformer, good government, blah blah types, and I've heard that a zillion times.
And that's bad.
I mean, it's just your basic kind of pseudo populist, whatever. There's nothing. What's new about it is that that you rarely hear that kind of thing in the mouths of the leader of the city. To sort of, I mean, let's think about it. He is denouncing the residents of the city he governs. He's basically saying there's this whole swath of my city that I represent who are assholes. That's what the mayor is really saying there. Screw a significant portion of my electorate. I mean, that to me that's just remarkable.
And it's also the ward that probably is responsible for more property taxes coming into the city than anywhere else.
It's a significant chunk. Yeah,
it's a huge.
But
chunk.
there's no. I mean, the other side of it is they don't. Ravensall has never done well in that area. I mean, that part is true. I mean, I think 14th Ward in 2009 was more likely to vote for DeSantis, the Republican running in that race, than they were to vote for Luke Ravensthal. So
look, there's a lot of Republicans who live in the 14th.
I'm sorry, that was
ward.
2007. That's my bad.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
Whatever. Oh, I love being reviled.
You're in the right business then. You should consider a career in politics.
Well, see, but that's the thing. If you've got as thin a skin as this guy does, man, he'll be happier out of politics.
Yeah, I think we'll all be happier with Luke Ravensthal out of politics at this point. We got to remember, no matter what happens with this primary, he's in office until the end of the year. So, people just kind of have to deal with him.
Well,
we
being in office is not the same as doing anything.
Right. This will probably be him. Go ahead, Mayor.
How you doing?
Hey.
Good.
Hey, I call your show the bitch. And I wish President Obama would take his head out of his ass and be a real Democrat and tell these people we're not going to do anything with Social Security and Medicare. Social Security is good to 2033.
Yeah.
After 2033, 75% will be paid out. The bastard needs to say no. He can always increase the tax rate anytime, and it will be covered. It'll be solvent.
Yep.
End of problem.
Yep.
I don't know what's wrong with that Obama, but he's in another world.
Yep.
Have a good day.
You too. Where did that come from?
I don't know. It had nothing to do with the show, but I agreed with just about every word of that.
Did you really? Did you?
Yeah, I think I don't understand why. Oh, I just did it to you.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the administration is doing with this issue. They don't. I mean, even if you think the deficits are a big problem,
He's
Social
trying
Security
to get
has
the Republicans to the table.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
And first of all, I'm not sure that A, it can be done, and B, I'm not sure. I mean, look what happened. He did this thing, and then he got pilloried for it by Republicans who said, "Oh, now look, these Democrats are trying to touch your Social Security benefits." They've run that game before. They ran it on Obamacare by saying it would take away money from Medicare and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just. At this point, I think you just don't negotiate with terrorists, essentially. And to come out and say, "Here's my budget, and here are these cuts I envision," because that's supposed to encourage good behavior on the part of the Republican Party, a party whose members include people who say things like the Muslim Brotherhood has infiltrated the administration. I don't even know why you bother. I'm with that caller. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. All right. Well, that does that.
Yeah,
I believe.
it does.
Now, I came upon this, and it freaked me out. Okay?
Okay.
This is on the gun front.
Okay.
A 5-year-old boy yesterday afternoon, I don't know, where was this? I don't know, shot his 2-year-old sister in Cumberland County, Kentucky, with a .22 rifle the 5-year-old was given as a gift.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and then the sheriff said about that.
But remember, we have to protect the rights of responsible gun owners. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the sheriff said about that, it's a cricket. Does that mean anything to you?
The gun, it's just like it's a little
It's
22.
called a cricket.
Yeah.
And, come on, it's a cricket. And the 5-year-old accidentally, it's a little rifle for a kid. Oh, that's by those are the words of the county coroner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sure. A lot of dead kids show up here in this office, but it's a cricket. So that rifle, which was usually stored in a corner in the house, was inadvertently
In a secure location we call the corner. I don't know how he got it. I don't know how he got his hands on it. We put it in the corner.
There was a little human error involved in that it was inadvertently left loaded in the corner.
How did you find the 357? I put it in the junk drawer. The kids never look in there.
Listen to this. The coroner says the shooting will be ruled accidental. It was just one of those crazy accidents.
Yeah.
Quote, said the coroner.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. Do you believe it?
Well, I mean, it would clearly be wrong to charge the child. I think the parents. I think you have the parents on a reckless endangerment or something.
No one's getting charged. Anyway, if it sounds slightly familiar, it's because it is. Because earlier, just in the last 30 days, a 4-year-old shot and killed a woman who happened to be a deputy's wife at a weekend barbecue with a handgun.
Yeah.
The next day, a 2-year-old reportedly, you be careful here, okay? A 2-year-old reportedly shot his mother in the stomach with a 9mm Glock. How can a 2-year-old?
I was going to say, what's the trigger pull on these guns that a 2-year-old can do it?
2 days later, another 4-year-old shot a 6-year-old in the head.
Jesus Christ.
Killing him. Okay, that is in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even rise to the level of news. I mean, these are all just accidents. They're just accidents.
Yeah.
They're just accidents.
I'd say a few things about this. One is, I mean, we're kidding around about it, but it does sort of point up this thing about responsible gun owners, and do we have laws to enforce that responsibility when parents act this way? If it were any other device, if it were any other implement in the house, how would law enforcement have handled this? It's sort of an interesting question to me.
Well, here, I mean,
the other
come
thing,
on, there are warnings, on ladders.
I know.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you gotta have some responsibility for leaving a firearm loaded
around children
in your house, around children in the corner. The other thing I'd say too is there's actually sort of an interesting campaign getting underway that's about asking, if you have a child and your child's going to go to some other kid's house to play, asking those kids' parents
if there's a gun
is
in
there
the
a gun
house.
in the house. And I think this is like sort of a really interesting thing because A, it's obviously it's about the safety of your own child, but it's also about B, encouraging a sort of sense just in our own everyday interactions about what kinds of expectations there are in terms of how people think about the presence of a dangerous weapon in their home. And I think this is what we've just seen is socially over the past few decades, that part of the dialogue has just dropped completely out of the national discourse on guns. It's about rights. It's always about rights. Guns are about rights. Any attempt to enforce a responsibility is somehow an infringement on your right. So this is a thing, and this is something, we were kidding about me having a 2-year-old or whatever, but it's a kind of thing that we'll be thinking about as he gets old enough to go to his friend's house. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. It's just a little early, but I got to take a break.
Oh, okay.
That took the wind out of my sails. Gee whiz. Daycare, the most dangerous place in the country. Gun-toting 2- and 3-year-olds. Okay, we gotta go.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
Go to BurkeBargains.com for great deals on gift cards from your favorite local restaurants, bars, museums, attractions, and shows. Like us on Facebook or sign up for our weekly email updates for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to Kennywood. BurkeBargains.com, Pittsburgh's best bargains. BurkeBargains.com.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to do is turn onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue
just broke up
and go past the first 3 lights, and then take the next left.
I don't really
then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's warming up outside, so get to Little's for all your spring needs. Little's has everything for men, women, and children to stay in style for this upcoming hot summer. Lots of great colors from Dansko, New Balance, Steve Madden, and much, much more. Don't forget to come visit this season's colorful handbag selection as well. Little Shoes, Pittsburgh's largest family shoe store, 5850 Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill.
You're listening to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Once again, here's Lynn Cullen.
Okay, so gosh, we got this glorious weather here. You know what's going on in the rest of the country? Have you heard about this?
No, I don't care about the rest of the country.
Oh, okay.
Screw those people. As far as I'm concerned, the rest of the country is just the 14th ward of America. Go. Drought?
There may be snow in Texas in the next day. Snow. It's May 1st. And I just want to tell you global warming nuts.
This disproves.
It totally disproves. Anyway, meteorologists say these snowfalls, Wisconsin's supposed to get hammered, Minnesota's supposed to get hammered, that, I got to tell you, I don't know that I remember May snowfalls.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
We got a call?
We do. Hello.
Good morning, Lynn. It's Dave from Washington.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
I'm going to change the subject to something I know you're just dying to talk about.
Okay. Oh.
First off, it's snowing in Texas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Fuck Texas. I hate everything about the place. I don't care. Things are blowing up down there. It's snowing. Good. I know what you really want to talk about. You want to talk about hockey.
Yes, I mentioned it, but yes, hockey.
I
What
love
about
hockey.
it?
I'm so excited for hockey tonight. 20 years ago right now, it had to have been 1993, I called you when you were back on the radio, and I told you a story that you seem to enjoy a great deal, so I'm going to tell you the story again and see if we can update it to 2013.
Do it.
My buddy used to have a rabbit. See if you remember this story. The rabbit's name was Guido. And in those days, in 91 when we went to the Stanley Cup, 92 when we went to the Stanley Cup, the Post-Gazette used to print out a whole page of all the guys on the opposing team that we were playing. And he would take this paper with all the pictures of the players, and he would line the rabbit's cage with it. And whether it was 4, 5, 6, 7 games, whatever it was, he'd leave it there, and the rabbit would just shit all over it and make the most horrendous, ugly mess you can imagine. And we won 2 Stanley Cups doing that.
Yeah.
The third year, if you remember, 1993, that was the best team we ever had.
Yeah.
We got knocked out of the playoffs by the same damn Islanders we're playing tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rabbit died in the middle of the playoffs.
Dun,
He wasn't there to shit on the Islanders' pictures, which is why we lost.
Well, what are we going to do this time?
I have no idea.
Who's got a rabbit?
But wait, they've
We
won.
don't have a rabbit now. I've got a cat.
No, I don't do it. Cat.
They've won a
That's
cup
hideous.
since then. How do you explain that?
Well, I can't. I'm kind of up in the air about that one. But what I figured I was going to do is, I don't know, does the Post-Gazette, I haven't bought a newspaper in years. Does the Post-Gazette still print those up?
I don't think that they
I'm not
print
sure
the
they do.
pictures of, no.
Well, then I'm going to have to get online and find a team photo of the Islanders.
Well, then you need a rabbit.
Well, I got this cat. Believe me, the cat makes
is-
a good mess.
No, the cat uses a cat box, and they...
Well, maybe.
No. They're
No,
too
it's an old
fastidious.
cat. As long as it's within a couple of feet of the box, the cat figures that's close enough.
What I like about this
it's
is
an old sick cat. Believe me.
Jesus. What I like about this call is I'm not sure this is going to help the Penguins' chances, but I think you just gave Luke Ravenstahl an idea for a new campaign ad.
Yeah.
Right, a rabbit crapping all over Bill Peduto's picture. Yeah.
Well, anyways, hey, if anybody out there has a rabbit, or a bird, or a hamster, or
Well, a
chicken or
bird cage.
something.
Yeah, a bird cage. I like that idea better.
Hey, my daughter has birds.
There you go.
Problem solved.
They
Birds.
shit all over the place.
They do, and their shit is particularly repulsive. So, yeah.
Well, the rabbit was pretty bad. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I hear you, brother.
After a week. Anyways, let's go, Pens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully Crosby will be back, and you know, let's do this.
And have fun. This should be our year again. Hey.
I think so.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, Lynn.
Great call, man.
We should have known when Guido the rabbit died. We were screwed.
If only the Vegas odds makers had been up there. That is funny.
Beth writes, other than the race itself, is the hatred from the Ravenstahl family / and Wagner towards Peduto still stemming from when Peduto worked for Dan Cohen and his race against Bill Coyne?
Yeah.
Well, you saw Coyne, former congressman, came out and endorsed again Wagner. Again, just adding to that stunned me, actually. Okay, but we'll go on with Beth's post. If it was that race that killed Dan's political career, and it seems that the Pittsburgh Democratic machine is still trying to ruin anyone in the party that tries to take on any of their anointed candidates. It appears this is not a race for mayor of Pittsburgh anymore, but seems to be a race of the old Democratic families trying to keep control of their clubhouse versus the new blood trying to emerge in city politics. Well, that's how I see it, too, which is why I'm telling everybody, go for the new blood. Anyway, it would be nice to get some new folks, yes, on the Planning Commission, on the URA, on the Civilian Police Review Boards, instead of the same recycled hacks. You have a misplaced apostrophe too, Miss Beth.
Jeez.
Great. I loved that.
Thanks for tuning in to the Grammar Lady show.
Police. Well, what do you think of this?
Well, I mean, I think there are two things going on there. One, I don't think Ravenstahl's animus towards Peduto has anything to do with Bill Coyne or the Cohen race.
Because he was in grade school then.
Yeah, and I mean, Ravenstahl in particular has his own reasons for having issues with Peduto. I mean, the two guys basically were nemeses in city government, have been for years. I mean, I do think that coin race has. There are people who do still remember that and still do not forgive and have not forgiven Peduto for his part in that coin race. I will say this. I talked to Bill Coyne when he endorsed Wagner, and I asked him to what extent, if any, did this have to do with that. And
how
Coyne,
long ago was that? That was like...
It was 1990...
long time.
I mean, we're talking 20...
long time ago.
20 years. No, it was 96, I think. I want to say 96.
Well, it was...
so still almost nearly 20 years. But he said, it was so long ago, it had nothing to do with his decision. He simply thinks Wagner is the best candidate. He did, however, in front of reporters say, Jack Wagner is running a positive campaign, and that's very important.
Well,
that was a day or two before Wagner's campaign ran their response to the Peduto ad. So take that for what it's worth. The interesting thing about that is, I'll just say this at the press conference where Coyne announced, I kept waiting for somebody to ask him about that.
And nobody did.
None of the reporters did. And one reporter, who shall remain nameless, said to me afterwards, I'm not going to run their blitz for them. Every reporter at this thing had the feeling that Wagner's camp...
They wanted it to come up?
That they wanted it to come up to bring it up about Peduto's thing. And at least one reporter made a very conscious decision not to do that because they felt they were getting...
played.
They were getting played. So it's interesting. The other thing about the endorsement is Coyne's endorsement did happen just days after Peduto unveiled his ad, and I had asked the Wagner campaign, have you been keeping Coyne in the bullpen for just this moment? And they swear that they hadn't been doing it. It was all just a coincidence. But at any rate, so the answer is there are people who have not forgiven Peduto for the coin race. I don't think that that's the dynamic going on with Ravenstall, but the second part of that email is this sort of an entrenched folks looking for an alternative to the guy who they feel most challenged by. I think that's a pretty reasonable read of the race.
Good Lord, Pittsburgh, if you want some change, do not elect these same people again, please. Why are you smiling?
I'm just thinking, I don't know. This mayoral election is, I'm at the mind blown stage with it.
You are.
Well,
God knows what the next 3 weeks.
I know. I can't wait to find out. It just feels like, I mean, photos could surface of, like Bill Peduto in a horse outfit or what have you. I have no idea what is coming down the pike.
Well. Not that I want anybody to feel sorry for Texas either. I just want to get back to that.
Oh, yes, right.
It was 97 degrees yesterday in Amarillo.
Yep.
Okay? Today, 30.
Yeah.
And snowing.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so this is, again, the misnaming of, this was, we're now backing up and trying to get everybody to say climate change, climate change, climate change.
Nah, too late. Rush Limbaugh's already taken your talking point and run with it, I'm sure.
Oh, dear.
Weather is just a thing that happens, you liberals.
So you can see all those Amarillans saying, global warming.
Yeah, right.
Idiots.
Why is that town... I mean, Amarillo is a color in Spanish. It's yellow, right?
Is it?
Why would you name your town yellow?
Maybe there's like little yellow flowers all over around there.
Could be. Maybe now it should be called Azul.
Because
it's blue. Because it's blue, because it's cold. Get it? Because they're blue.
No, that was a little... I'm
sure your Spanish-speaking audience got out of that was hilarious.
Oh, man. Okay, well, so after...
I have a headache.
I can't believe that I've got nothing left here except sort of heavy stuff. And
dear. We usually try to end it on
I know, I screwed up. Uh-oh.
What?
You got anything funny to say? No. God, we got 8 minutes. Can we do another heavy thing?
Sure, of course we can. Come on, it's all right. It's all right.
I'll give you.
This is a loyal audience. They'll carry you through.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
We can talk about the horror in Bangladesh and our aiding and abetting.
Here's a phone call to save us. Maybe you'll be that guy with the rabbit again.
That's Dave in Washington to you. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Lynn.
Yes.
I can barely hear you, but I'm going to try really hard. I'm watching the movement here, and I'm trying to figure out what you're actually trying to say. I wanted to get back to city politics.
All right.
Go ahead.
And the recent Brookline Community Council Meet the Candidates night.
Yep, I was there.
Oh, I looked for you, Chris. Everybody in the audience was probably wondering why I kept looking over my shoulder at the door.
No, I was in front. I was in front so my tape recorder could pick everything up.
Oh, gee, it's funny because I kept thinking, I bet everybody at my table thinks somebody important's about to walk in. And I wonder what were your impressions?
So this is actually, I have a story in this week's issue of the paper about this is a candidates night that happened on Monday night in Brookline at the St. Mark Evangelical Lutheran Church, and it was the first time in all of these months, the very first time that both candidates in the City Council District 4 race were in the same room for a political event. There's not been a single debate about it in this race. There hasn't been a single.
And who is that?
This is Natalia Rudiak, who's the incumbent, the progressive candidate. This is her first term, and John Lee, who's challenging her. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess our caller here was struck by the fact that in his remarks, John Lee referred to Ms. Rudiak as a, quote, very bright girl.
Well, he said many things that really threw me that night, including
what else?
Underscoring how the social aspect of campaigning seemed to appeal to him.
Right.
The Taste of Brookline event,
right.
The bar crawl on the boulevard.
Right.
And I'm thinking, gee whiz, I hope this isn't what he thinks every day as a council person is like. But,
no, it's what every day as
a
a
mayor
mayor
is like. The one thing I can say about those candidates, and Mr. Hurst, the Republican candidate,
right.
who I always enjoy meeting Republicans when I go to these kind of events because I am very effusive in my introduction. I think it really gives them a charge to see somebody who recognizes that there actually is a Republican candidate.
Right.
And I do my best to build them up, and I have such a great time doing it. I laugh the whole next day over it.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun, actually. But the one thing I can say about the comments made by those three candidates was, if I were Johnny Lee, I would be voting for Natalia Rudiak.
That very bright girl, huh?
Yeah. It's an interesting. The other thing that's.
But the other thing in terms of Mr. Peduto and Mr. Wagner, very different styles, obviously, and I was struck by the one comment Mr. Wagner made where he said, basically, who went negative first?
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh boy, it seems like this is going to be where he comes from. You know, he'll go negative hard now because
Peduto opened the door.
His defense is Mr. Peduto went negative.
He started
first.
He started
he started it.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, God.
So, there aren't enough of these events, and sometimes they don't get the attention they should.
Yeah.
There, I think, might have been a lot more people there had it been, talked about more, publicized more.
I myself only found out about it last week, probably later in the week. So I don't know exactly what happened. It is unfortunate. I mean, all of the candidates, and I've covered a couple of these. I'm covering a couple of these council races. They'll all tell you. The question everybody asks most often is, well, what do you think about the mayor's race? So even if you're running, it's been such an unprecedented campaign that I think it sucked out a lot of the oxygen for a lot of the other council races. So it's tricky. The other thing I'll just say for folks out there who weren't at this gathering on Monday night is what's happening in that District 4 race that's become kind of interesting is John Lee, the challenger, is basically making it in some ways trying to make it the mayor's race writ small. all. He sent out a letter to folks in the district saying, Natalia Rudiak is the second representative from Shadyside. She takes her marching orders from Bill Peduto. Jack Wagner's going to win this thing, and we don't want to be on the wrong side of the mayor's office. So let's all get behind me, the endorsed Democrat who's chummy with Mr. Wagner.
Okay, you see, when I talk about the fact that Wagner and that group is the past, and this guy is part of that past, Mr. Lee, okay, and he calls a council person a girl. There it is again. Come on. Girls became women in 1970-something, I believe. I mean, come on. I don't want these old farts anymore. I am sick of them. Sick of them. Thank you for your call.
And that's one of the reasons why Wednesday is my favorite day of the week with you two on the radio.
Thanks for the call.
On the pseudo radio. Because you get fired up about things. And it's like going to a parade. And everybody just stands there watching the parade go by, and they're not cheering, and they're not animated. And what do we do about this, Lynn?
Gee whiz, I like your spunk and your passion. And I love the fact that you rescued us from having to talk about the horrors of Bangladesh.
Yes.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
All right.
Caller.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
I'd also like to point out that I have a head like a parade float.
Yeah, one of those things that are tethered.
Exactly. You see people just like, oh God, oh God.
Oh gosh, Joe, thank you. Oh, embarrassing.
What?
The bed I slept in had been vacated, not by June Hauer, by June Havoc.
Oh. Who's June Hauer?
Who is June Hauer? Where did I come up with that name? June Havoc.
There we go. That's a better name, actually. June Havoc.
Havoc!
That sounds like a professional wrestling name almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there you have it.
I think we just about made it.
I think we have. The other thing I was going to suggest is horrors of Bangladesh, or the fact that Obama is once again saying, got to close Guantanamo. Which we
and it only took like half of those guys starving themselves to inspire.
What are we doing there? God, geez.
Another example to get back to your previous caller of where you sort of wonder what the president is thinking.
You wonder why the United States is looked at askance by some, and this absolute abdication of our core values because we were scared shitless, after 9/11.
Yeah.
Should have dissipated by now.
Oh, I don't even think it's that anymore. I think it's a total lack of political whatever, because he knows the Republicans will pillory him, and so they're not scared of terrorists, they're scared of Republicans.
I am so sick and tired of these Republicans. I cannot stand it.
Assume the submissive.
I will not.
That's the Democratic mode right there.
Yeah, right. Well, God dang.
Man, we wrapped that up. Assume the submissive. We started that way. We
did. We came back. Wow.
This show is tautly knit. People don't realize all the puzzle pieces.
No, it appears to be spontaneous. But no, this is the beauty of it. It is actually scripted.
That's actually a disaster. That's true. I'd like to think I could at least write better than this.
And we're such good actors that we make it appear as
if we have massive headaches and we don't know what we're doing.
Okay, well, while you're enjoying this beautiful day, I want you to send a little thought down to the folks in Amarillo, and it goes like this. Ha ha! Just picking up on Dave from Washington.
Amarillo, I think.
Yes, Amarillo. Okay, we are so done. We are done. Thank you very much, Chris Potter.
It's good to be here.
How's your headache?
I feel a little better.
Yeah, sure he does.
I did.
Yeah, sure he does. Okay, you guys enjoy. Bye. Go Pens! Woo!
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.